on YouTube, and they measure the engaged views. They call it engaged views. So I put in the past 365 days. So we had 4,244 views of our videos. And the watch hours, 272 watch hours of people that watched the videos. So we're reaching more than we realize. We continued our tradition of recognizing youth with the Scholastic Awards and scholarships, and I know a lot of y'all went to the schools to do that. We supported youth in our key clubs and our Boys and Girls Club Builders group. We gave funds to various literacy groups and had about 18 people that volunteered to read in our 2 elementary schools. We continued our maintenance work at Daryl's Dream Boundless Playground twice a year, and also helping Salvation Army as bell ringers. And we had another year with our fundraisers, our golf tournament, and our Rolling of the Balls event. So all of this took a lot of work. And totaling up what we've given out to the community has been over $25,000. So I think that's awesome. So that is a result of our fundraising and also from our growth in our endowment fund. And talking about the endowment fund, this year the account value has increased $60,105 net. Our contributions was $38,612, and we thank Eastman Credit Union, of course, with the contribution of $25,000 of that. So that enabled us. We do a formula over the past 3 years to figure out how much we can transfer to our foundation account. So we transferred $9,604 to the foundation account this year. And earlier in 2025, we used $10,250 to give grants to other charities that serve children in our community and meet all of our criteria. That included, it includes children and those with needs, I think is how it's worded, something like that. The Kingsport Homeless Ministry, we gave $2,625. The Oasis Women's Ministry, $2,625. Small Miracles Equestrian Center, $2,500. And the Family Promise of Greater Kingsport, $2,500. So I think that is awesome. We've also submitted applications to the Kiwanis Northeast Tennessee Children's Charitable Foundation for some other charities, and we were approved and received a grant of $2,500 to the Smiles Foster Closet. And we also gave Daryl's Dream Boundless Playground $3,450 to replace some of their equipment. And we also are using a grant of $2,500 to facilitate the Sullivan County Key Clubs and Builder Clubs. And that's going to be continuing through the rest of this year in trying to mentor them. So these are only a few things that we have done to serve the children. We want to continue to do more and continue to grow our Kiwanis impact. And I saw online one of the other Kiwanis clubs had this remark, and it was just so good, so I stole it from her. The service projects that we do are not just events, they are moments of impact. So as we go forward, she talks about the truth in Helen Keller, who said, "Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much." So each act of kindness, each hour of service, and each idea brought to the club gains strength when we all do it together. So I thought that was a good way to summarize it. Okay, first I want to give a special thanks and appreciation to a person that is critical. She doesn't like to be recognized, but she's critical to the operations of our club. So I wanted to give Ann a special certificate of appreciation for her help this year. Ann? Just for you, for your office. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And normally, I think on your program we give out 2 special awards, but I added another one this year based on a recommendation from others. And this is for one of our outgoing directors who has been a director multiple times. I don't even know how many times. And she has volunteered to do some important and tedious functions at our fundraising events, both at the golf tournament and the rolling of the balls. And this award is named the Above and Beyond Award. So I wanted to thank Pat Brosey.
Above and beyond.
Above and beyond. Thank you so much. She took track of all our tickets and money. She's always willing to do anything.
And handle registration for the golf tournament.
And registration, yeah, Gail had to be gone, yes. Thank you, Pat. Where's my phone? I wanted to also thank our other outgoing directors because they have been an important part of our board. Unfortunately, their award did not arrive. So they get a picture of their award. But it says it's a service award for being on the board of directors. So I wanted to recognize Amy is here, and Brian Brummett, Gary Stidman, and Spencer Snook. You can take a picture of my... But I do have a special thank you note, and I'll give you your award when it comes. Get here next week. But I thought that would be good for advertising for. So if y'all see Brian Brummett, Gary Stidham, and Spencer Snook, thank them for serving on our board. And now our 2 special awards. Our first one is the Stuart Crosley Award for Kiwanis Outstanding Committee Chair. And I will tell you who that is, and I've actually he's not able to be here tonight, but I talked to him yesterday by phone. So the recipient for the 2025 Kiwanis Outstanding Committee Chair is Bill Anderson. Our foundation committee formed a subcommittee to develop a process for issuing the grants to nonprofits in our community. And this new process is separate from the foundation committee's budget, which is they handle. And we had members appointed to this group. And Bill was the obvious one and stepped up to lead this committee in developing our process and our criteria in the application form, together with the committee, to give out our grants that we'll be using from now on, actually. So he's a natural leader, and he led the team in doing this. So I'll give his award tomorrow, but congratulate Bill when you see him for receiving this award. He did a good job. Okay, now the Art Roper Kiwanian of the Year was established in 1995 to honor a Kiwanian who serves the community at the level that Art Roper did for many, many years. And this award says, in appreciation for your continuing service and for your involvement in our community. And so for the past 30 years, each year, the recipient has provided important services to our community. So as we remember the past recipients, each one of these have served from their heart and had a unique understanding and demonstration about why we serve, how we serve, and with what impact we serve. So there's a long history of this award, but I wanted to just name some of the past recipients and thank them again. I'm not naming all of them. Don Royston, Lynn Doan, Gail Pressler, Bill Sade, David Atkinson, Charlie Nitsky, John Peters, Jim Dickert, and Tom Parham, Ann Beckelman, Angie Marshall, Jan Malott, and Pat Scholl. So I just wanted to remind everybody of these servants that have received this well-earned reward. So in deciding the person to give this award to, it was just obvious to me who should be honored. His membership in Kiwanis, according to the information I could find, was his sponsor was Tom Parham, and he joined in January 2018. So since then, he has strengthened our club by being a servant leader in many areas and further enhanced relationships with many people within our community and also with our city government. So I was reading on Google, I found, and it said that honesty, integrity, stewardship, and respect are the guiding principles that this honoree uses to characterize his life. He was born at Tulsa Valley Hospital and has lived and worked in Kingsport for most of his life. There's no question that he's an avid volunteer and well known in our community. He has done a lot for Kiwanis. He's a past president and worked with our golf tournament, and I'm sure other things that I do not know about. But I thought about one of the volunteer positions as it affects children and bringing happiness to children is playing the role of Santa and Santa's helper, which he has done most of his adult life. I've heard that he started many, many years ago. He's been Santa's helper on the Santa train and is Santa in the Christmas parade. And he also have set up Dobbins Bennett Band Scholarships in memory of their daughter and have awarded 46 scholarships to band students. So I don't think there's a need to recite any more of his biography. We well know him. And as our vice mayor, I think he's probably walked more streets and roads in our city than anybody else. So please help me congratulate Daryl Duncan as our Art Roper Kiwanis of the Year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well deserved, well deserved. So I just want to extend my thanks to every single one of you. Your hands-on service is inspiring to me and to many people in our community. and I'm excited to see what the next year brings, and to continue serving along with you. So I want to introduce John, our new president, John Campbell, and let him give us a few words.
Thank you very much, Donna. And one of the things that concerned me when I got pushed into this position was the fact that I had to follow her, who I think she's done an outstanding job. She's so organized. She shows the technical ability. She puts us on Facebook. I don't do all that stuff, so I need help. But I appreciate very much everything you've done, and she's been a great member ever since she joined the club, and also thank you very much for that. Another concern I had when somebody pushed me into this role was it's been 21 years since I was president of the Johnson City Club. You know, I'm 21 years older now, so I had a lot more energy at that time than I do then. It was at a time when I was outside of government for a while in the private sector, so I knew I didn't have much work to do. But we do have an outstanding team that's coming in. I'd say one thing, since it's Alabama week, I'll make my one quote from Bear Bryant. And I won't give him any more credit, but he said, "I'd be a damn fool if we didn't have a good group of people behind me smarter than I am." So, but anyway, we do have an outstanding group coming in. I'd like for them to stand up if they're here. I think I saw Daryl Shearers on that group. David Martin, I didn't see him come in. Also, Scotty's here, I think. I saw Scotty earlier. And Betty Blast is here. Glad to have Betty here tonight. And Jack Klein, he's not here tonight, but this is our new board members that are coming in. And I appreciate very much them serving with us this year. You'll note, I think all of those pretty much have only been in the club 5 years or less, something like that, so it's an unusual thing. Another thing I wanted to recognize, I was quickly looking down the list, and it looked like we have 12 former presidents here, which speaks well of all the people that have been in the club, have stayed with it, and think back to all the stuff they did since I've been a member here since I think 2006, maybe 2005. So they're an outstanding group too. I'm not going to quote all those people. We don't need to be here all night and everything, but also like to thank those that are rolling off the board, which I think Donna's already alluded to. And Brent is rolling off the board of directors, but he's coming on as our president-elect. I'm glad to have somebody much younger than me coming in as president-elect. Come on, Brent, stand up. And he decided to move up because Phil decided he didn't want to do it this year. I was hoping Phil would be ready to take over early, but Phil Richards is here tonight, and I'm glad to have him still on the board as the vice president. And Phil and I are classmates from high school, graduated the same year. And also, of course, is treasurers, Matt Quay, who I didn't see him here earlier. And also secretary, of course, is Susan Heron, who couldn't make it tonight. And then, of course, we don't officially have her in a position, but I don't know how you would do this position if you didn't have Ann. And I think that was a very appropriate recognition of Ann. And also, I don't have a big speech, but I would say one story that helped me get interested in Kiwanis. The many benefits I've got from being in the DB band years ago. One of them was the fact that I was in the stage band. The stage band was instrumental, much like a big band era, that type of thing. And the only things we did, because we were a spring outfit, was we would play the spring concert, of course, but we got to tour the civic clubs. So we would go to 4 to 5 civic clubs each year in Kingsport. And of course, the thing we thought about at that time was we got great food because we were going to Ridgefields most of the time. My parents weren't members of Ridgefield, so I got the benefit of that. But the thing that hit me all the time was the Kiwanis Club was always the most impressive. I mean, I thought Kiwanis was the club to be in. We went to Rotary. Rotary's always been a good club. In a lot of cities, it's considered the best club. But to me, Kiwanis was the best club. They did the most for the community. I didn't know many people in the clubs. That's back when, of course, there were 140 members or so. But it stayed with me until we finally decided to join in Johnson City. I think in '84 was I joined then. Of course, it didn't hurt that two of my bosses were Kiwanians, and they strongly encouraged. One of them was the mayor. Strongly encouraged me. I only had one Rotarian that was a boss. He wasn't the most active Rotarian, but I did get strong encouragement from them. But it was clearly in my mind that that would be the club to join if I ever joined the club, and that's because of so many things that Kiwanis did over the years. Though my father was not a Kiwanian, we saw it in the community all the time. You heard about it. I mean, and like I say, when I went to those meetings, I would see people that were so much invested in their community. They, of course, at that time had a much different level of fun at the Kiwanis Club. You wouldn't believe some of the antics they went into back in those days, but it was a great experience. But looking forward to a big year. Looking forward to a great team. I think, like I said earlier, the good thing is we've got some new members. I think a very important focus should be trying to recruit people. And the reason I told that story, I got off track, but about seeing what I did in high school, I think every meeting is important in terms of what people see when they come to visit, and particularly when our young people come. That's why I'm always happy to see, talk to the coaches, or talk to people like Lady Cook and others, bring some of the kids, make sure they see what's going on. And then too, I would credit our people that work so closely with the key clubs. And what they do is very important because they get to see this. In fact, Ann has come up with a special event on November 4th for our board meeting. Our next board meeting will be at night, and there'll be 2 or 3 key club representatives from each school to come to that dinner, so they can see how it goes and what they can do for the future. So again, thank you very much. Hope everybody had a great time. Thanks to the committee for putting it together. And thank you, Donna. Again, let's give another big cheer for Donna and what she's doing.
So come get a to-go thing and help us not waste any food, and have a safe drive home. Thanks for coming.